Hey there, it is Yolanda Shoshana, and this is Sparkling Wine and Sex Magic. How are you? So it is Sunday, my favorite day of the week, also known as Super Bowl Sunday, because it's the big game day. So I'm sure a lot of you are getting your snacks and getting ready for the game. Some of you couldn't care less and will be watching something else, but some of us are really excited. So, I thought I'd do an addition today. So I'm actually not having sparkling wine today, which is a little weird for me because normally it's a sparkling wine day. I either have like champagne or a cava or a prosecco. It's more of a cocktail day, and I really am not good with mixing my drink. So I'm going to just be sticking with cocktails later. Right now I'm having like some apple juice, but I will be having blueberry vodka, of all things. I'm making a drink called the Panther. And I will say this about blueberries as a side note, for those of you who don't know, blueberries are actually wonderful for your sex life. There's actually a blueberry month. I think it's like June or July or something. But blueberries are really good for your blood flow. So they're great for erections. And they're also great with pumping up your libido. So, food has a lot to do with your sex life, and people forget about that. So if you're eating a bunch of crap, you may not feel as in the mood to get it on. But, if your man's having a problem with his erection, maybe you want to give him some blueberries, a little bit of blueberries, add that to his diet. And also for yourself, if you're a lady and you're having some issues with your libido, throw some blueberries in and you might just see a difference. So yeah. Sexy cocktail. I thought of the blueberries because I'm supposed to garnish with blueberries. I'm doing some work with my clients, wine and cocktails for the day. So anyway, but I hope you have a wonderful sparkling wine as you listen to this and enjoy this, because there's nothing better than a nice glass of sparkling wine and a nice round of sex. So let's talk about some sex news. There's always a lot of sex news to talk about. So I read this very interesting article about people having sex at the gym. And I was wondering, well, what gym are they going to? Because I know at Crunch, I'm not seeing anybody stooping, fucking, or doing anything. I was thinking, is this a new type of gym or what have you? But there was a study done in Britain. It's actually the kinky Brits that are doing this. So people are having gym sex, and more people are having gym sex. Now, how these people are meeting, though, is what's interesting. They are meeting each other on a dating app. I assume like the Tinders, and there's so many online dating apps now. I can't even keep up with it. But they meet on the app, and then they meet at the gym to have sex. I'm still confused by this because normally, don't you have to have a gym membership to go to a gym? Or are people signing up and doing like the free weekly pass? And I don't know. I just think it's the whole thing's a little strange. But if you're ever in Great Britain, London perhaps, and you are one of those people that like to have gym sex, then by all means, go and get yourself some. I don't know what's happening in the States because this study was really about Great Britain, but I'm sure we're doing it too. So James Franco is going to be in an HBO drama playing these two twins. I think they were in porn in the 1970s and early 1980s, and their names were Vincent and Frank Martino. He is going to be playing the role. So basically they're saying James Franco opposite James Franco. I am a little bit obsessed with James Franco lately, and I'm not sure why. I mean, he's cute. So I forget how good of an actor he is. I think mainly because he's always doing all these, I don't know, weird things to get attention, it seems like, but I appreciate him. I just think he's so talented and good at getting the right type of press. If that makes sense. Like, he's just good at calling attention to his art. But yeah, he's going to be doing this. And also in it is Maggie Gyllenhaal, one of my favorite. She's a pretty good actress. She's going to play a prostitute named Candy, and I think she's also a producer on this series. It's going to be like a series. Maggie Gyllenhaal, if you've never seen Secretary, I highly recommend it. I mean, that to me is one of the best BDSM movies that there is out there. Forget this 50 Shades business. James Spader stars with her. I mean, James Spader back in the day, I mean, just was like a hot, kinky, thing. And the movie is just really good. So I'm curious to see what they do with it. It's called Deuces. The James Franco movie is called Deuces, I guess, in the spirit of him playing twins. But I don't know when that'll be out, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention. James Franco has a thing with porn, and I know he's talked about it before, but I think it fascinates him. So he always has like a foot in doing something that's kind of like with porn, whether it's talking about it or making short films or producing series and helping people out. I don't know, he's so interesting to me. So there is a new restaurant in Dallas, Texas. Yeehaw, shout out to my Texans, called Tallywakers. Tallywakers is the for women. It is kind of like the women's version for women, kind of like Hooters, but women going in looking at men with six packs and men in these short little shorts. I have to tell you, I love this concept. I think they're getting some pushback from people, probably, some prude women. It's always prude women who have issues with stuff like this. I say don't go to Tallywhackers. If you don't want to know anything about it, don't go. But the waiting list is 2 fucking hours. So if you go there on the weekend, you probably have to wait 2 hours to get into this Tallywhackers. So I want them to come to New York City. I think it'd be perfect. I love the idea. There was this group of women that drove 5 hours to go to Tallywhackers. I mean, the men are hot, so why not? So I think since the concept is doing well, I'm sure it'll probably end up being like a chain. It'll probably only be in major cities, though. Dallas is an interesting city to have it in, as far as I'm concerned. But I don't know, where was Hooters first started? Probably like a Texas. We're good like that. I don't dislike Hooters. They have some decent wings. At least the one in New York does. I haven't been in years, but go Tallywhackers. I love that it's called Tallywhackers. That makes me giggle like I'm in high school. So I got to go to lunch. Adam and Eve was in town, and they invited me and some other sex writers to lunch, which was just so lovely. Very lovely Mediterranean restaurant in Soho called Persea or something. Persea. They hooked us up, and we had wine, and we had appetizers, we had a main thing, and we had dessert. It was just very nice. And then we got goodie bags with like little whips and a blindfold and all this. Now, the funny thing is I happen to have most of the things in the goodie bag. So that night I saw a friend, I gave her the blindfold and I gave her some lube. I've got so much lube in my apartment. It's crazy. I have less now than I used to, but so the whole Adam and Eve lunch was really about writing a love poem. So they wanted to give people and give writers like myself ideas to spread to, other people. And basically it was write a love poem. And I actually think it was a really great idea. They had a writer, her name is Susanna Weiss. If you read sex stuff, you've probably read some of her articles before. Like she's on like The Bustle and most of the major sex magazines she's written for like a Cosmo and all these places. But she was our teacher for the day. And, we brought up ideas. She showed us love poems gone right, love poems gone wrong. Though I also say, if you're not the best writer and you want to write a love poem, there's also the thing that I call the A for effort. Not everybody is romantic. Not everybody is a wordsmith. So if you want to write somebody a love poem, still go for it, because they will appreciate your effort, even if you're not like William Shakespeare. But I really think that it is a great idea if you, put a poem on a piece of paper. We don't write anymore. Everything's always in text or always online. I mean, if you want to put it online, that's still good too. But I really think, a nice piece of paper, handwritten in a card would just go such a long way to your partner, and they would really, really appreciate it. And if you don't want to write your own, I would definitely recommend going and picking up maybe a William Shakespeare book or Lord Byron and using one of theirs. Like, there's nothing wrong also with finding a great poem that speaks to you and speaks to what you want to say to someone. So I think that that's just as good too. I mean, this William Shakespeare wrote tons of sonnets. If you can't find one sonnet for your boo, maybe that's not the right boo. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think it's just so lovely. It was just such a nice little touch, even though, you know, we all wrote about sex because, you know, love is a good thing to always remember and important when it comes to sex. And remembering to tell somebody why you love them and why you are grateful for them. So love poems, that's my advice for Valentine's Day. That and a good glass of a sparkling wine would take you really, really far. And also, you know, good sex toys. You know, add the blindfold. I think blindfolds are so sexy, especially the silk ones. This is, of course, is if you really trust your partner. Not everybody trusts their partner, which is problematic. But like a nice, sexy silk blindfold, and maybe you feeding them or reading your love poem to them, that would be a good thing you could do on Valentine's Day. And by all means, and this is mainly a tip for the men, most men run to Godiva chocolate for Valentine's gifts. You know what? There are some other wonderful chocolates out there, like the Jock Torres is, and wherever you are in the world. So if you can think out of the box and not necessarily get Godiva for your woman or your man, that also, you know, it gives you brownie points. It makes you different. I see men looking all, you know, scared and nervous with their Godiva bags and maybe their bags from Victoria's Secrets. But, you know, there are all these other places that you can go to get gifts. Think out of the box and show her that you went a little bit, an extra mile, because it's just so wonderful to not get the typical thing, because Victoria's Secret, we know, is the crutch for all men. So go to, you know, there's so many other lingerie stores, or even give your girl a gift card to a lingerie store, especially if you don't know her size. Now, let me tell you something. You get the wrong size, you'll be in the doghouse for the rest of the year. So, you know, just really think about something different. Even a good massage would be good. We love stuff like that as well. A day where your girl can get away from you and the foolishness and just kind of go and pamper herself. So think about things like that. So anyway, what else did I want to? So I read this interesting article about teens and older adults who are now more into porn than actual sex. This is a bigger thing. So, and they're doing this, participating in online sex, because they say that there's less risk. And when I say teens, I mean between the ages of 13 and 17, and older adults between the ages of 51 and 69. So more and more people are worried about diseases and other things. So yeah, like, so porn is becoming bigger and bigger, and a lot of teens are actually also participating in porn online because they want to be aroused and they love sexting. I just thought that this was really, really interesting because, you know, the porn industry is always in trouble, or actually showing people how to have sex in some ways. I have mentioned this before about how if you know your teen is watching porn, maybe you want to have a discussion with them to let them know that sex is not a porn movie, because men are getting informed about sex by watching porn, and then they think they know what women want. Like with anal sex, they think that they can just kind of ram it up a woman's butt, and that's not the way that it works. Or not all women like semen come on their bodies or in their face, and so it's just really interesting that when teens are getting informed that way, and even older people as well. I know a lot of young girls have been informed by 50 Shades of Grey. And, you know, there's something that's a little sketchy about that because she never signed the contract. So it's just, it's a little bit alarming that this is happening. I just hope that people find ways to know that porn is for the fantasy. It's not about necessarily real life. It can give you ideas, yes, but there's so much more to sex and to just being able to please a partner. So I hope some conversations happen, and I don't know how to get them to happen, but I mean, maybe that's something I'm going to have to tackle in my own writing, maybe doing more writing for millennials so that they keep an open mind about what porn is. So hopefully people don't think that porn is the only way. But I just thought that that statistic was so interesting. And even the 51 to 69-year-olds taking less risk. I mean, I know that a lot of older people have gotten sexual diseases because they were not wearing condoms, because everybody thought there's no way they could get AIDS, or there was no way they could get, you know, all types of stuff. But it's not about age. So, you know, you got to always be careful when you are having sexual activity with anyone. Just because somebody looks clean don't mean that they are. So that's pretty much all I have for you today. Please do send me your sex questions and comments. I love them. I love them. There are so many people out here having bad sex, and it's time to change that. There's no reason why you should be having bad sex, because it's about communication. It's about creativity. It's about, you know, a lot of things. I am working and compiling a list for sexy sparkling wines for Valentine's Day and beyond, and that's going to be on my Witch on Wine podcast, so be on the lookout for that. Because sparkling wine, as you know, and what I said about sparkling wine is that it's so sexy, and bubbles get you tipsy a little bit quicker. So that list should be out this week, and I won't be focusing on any champagnes. It'll be cavas and proseccos and things like that, because you don't have to always use champagne for your art of seduction. You know, sparkling wine is seduction in a glass, but there's so many other wines that you can use to really get somebody off and to get yourself off. So, you know, cavas, proseccos, yes, and cremants and all that good stuff. So I'll be covering those in no particular order to give you some ideas about what you can put in your glass to tickle your fancy. So have a wonderful, wonderful and sexy week. I hope February has been a wonderful month of love for you so far. Don't forget to love yourself. You know, if you're single or if you have a boo, don't forget to give yourself some self-love in this month, because love starts with you and it ends with you at all times. And what you are putting out is what you're going to get back in. You can conjure in more love anytime you desire. You can conjure in amazing sex if and when you desire. You know, you are supposed to have an amazing love and sex life. Whether you have to give it to yourself right now or somebody else is giving it to you, the point is you can have this. This is something that you can universally call in and conjure in at any time. So don't forget, love yourself, and wishing you much amazing love and sex magic. Peace.